Good day, YouTubeville. I come to you today with open hands of peace and goodwill. Allow me to be vulnerable with my thoughts about some important current issues. I try to narrow them down and simplify. Maybe they'll resonate with some of you. Allow me to use my notes so I don't forget anything. I don't go running off on any trails. So first, let me tell you words which I will use to avoid censorship. So first of all, there is the jab, which I just like that word. So I will use instead immunization, V, or immune therapy or immunotherapy. And for the forbidden medicine, I will use the term antiviral. And if you don't know what I mean, then please look up flccc.net for their excellent research. Okay, here we go. So nowadays, critical theory, which is the idea of oppressor versus oppressed, is coming to the fore in many ways. And I would like to introduce the new member of the critical theory family. That is critical V theory. Fill in the V. Critical V theory, which I will call CVT. So who is the oppressor in this relationship? The government, big business and pharma, big tech censors, mainstream media, and many elites. And then who is the oppressed? Well, those are the regular citizens who, with good reasons, refuse to take the current immunizations. So I'd like to speak out for the oppressed. Because the immunizations are widely available, I don't believe that most of the oppressed are hesitant, but rather immunization decliners. For personal reasons, they've made a decision against this specific therapy for this specific situation. There are many valid reasons, and I would like to address a big one that makes me a V decliner. So the three immunotherapies that are offered in the US all use genetic material. Two of them use mRNA, and the third uses DNA. They're different technologies, but with the same purpose. So the solution is injected into the arm muscle, and introduces this foreign genetic material into the body. It in turn enters the cells to produce the spike protein, which is a foreign antigen or maybe a pathogen. I can't quite get those terms for this spike. Anyway, it's produced in a person's body. So think about it. Foreign antigens always come from outside the body. Until now, your body, after receiving the immunization, produces within itself a foreign antigen. Think about that. Congratulations. You are officially the GMO. So the news changes every day about whether the very narrow range of the original spike protein will have long-lasting effects, or if boosters or new therapies with different genetic codes will be necessary. Viruses mutate to stay alive. Seems there are not enough Greek letters to contain our future. And with all the breakthrough cases, it appears that immunizations are not the path to herd immunity, which was, of course, the original goal. So think about the cost. Remember that these therapies are designated for emergency use only. And there have been many reports of injury and death on the web. And if you're like me, then you've also heard many anecdotes in your circle of friends. If their stories are dismissed, then they are also part of the oppressed class of CVT. Please remember that drugs are given to sick people But this is given to healthy people. Therefore, safety is preeminent. Yet, Big Pharma is exempt from liability. So, is it possible that this genetic step, which has never been used on this broad scale before, is responsible for some harm? I'm not saying it is, but it's just something to think about. Something it's never been done before. So I'm not against protection, and there are 2 injections in the pipeline that are traditional with no genetic material. One is Novavax, which uses a lab-created modified spike protein in the solution. So again, this might have the problem of being too narrow. The other is Valneva. I'm not sure of the pronunciation. Valneva, and it uses an inactivated whole virus. And if the government really wants people to be immunized, they'd pay more attention to these. So there's one other objection I'd like to raise and think about. A person's private medical information should be between that person and their doctor, where it is protected by HIPAA laws. But with the injection, your medical information is now between you and the government's database. And if they make passports a reality, now it's between you and anyone who can ask for your papers. I don't know, doesn't that make you pause? I'm not afraid of immunizations or this virus per se. And I do have the antiviral on hand that has been used for test and treat very successfully. And so that gives me some confidence. But I'm starting to feel some weird fear towards the government's heavy-handed demands and single-minded narrative that seems to put power and money ahead of individual rights. I live a quiet life, but this is a battle, and I may have to choose it out of necessity. And for me, it's not just about the therapy anymore, but the government overreach, which divides and threatens our freedoms. If I am wrong, if I am right, I offer these words in goodwill to my friends on YouTubeville. Thank you for listening.